What's going on, guys? We're back with another video, and today we're going to be doing a Q&A. You guys have been asking me questions on Instagram. I'm going to answer them all in today's video. If you want to be involved and ask questions for future Q&As, go and check out my Instagram at it's BoxToBox, and then you can ask questions for future videos. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. The first question comes from Nura Maximus, who says, do you have any goals for next year? So answering that question, yeah, I do have quite a few goals for next year. I'm planning to go off to university. And fingers crossed, my goal is to get playing in the first team there, and also my goal is to get playing for a semi-professional team in the local area of the university. So that's one of my goals for next year. The next question comes from Seb R. Svenden, who asks, do you have a lot of natural talent, or have you worked your way to where you are now? So my answer to this question would be, I feel like I do have a little bit of natural talent. However, I have worked extremely hard for where I've got to now. I feel like I've always prided myself on my work rate and determination, even just in games, let alone doing extra training outside of football. So I do feel though like I've always had a little bit of natural talent. Like I was playing for Cheltenham when I was like under like 7s or 8s, so I must have had a little bit when I was younger. So I guess I've just worked hard and a little bit, so probably half and half, I'd say. Another question from Seb. What's one player that you think has a similar playing style to you? So it depends where I play, I guess, because when I'm playing as a midfielder, I like to think of myself as a box-to-box midfielder, which is my favourite position, which actually answers Will84846's question as well, who asks, where did box-to-box come from? Thinking of channel names, and my favourite position to play is box-to-box, and I love the ring of it, so yeah, that's my channel name now. Even though he's not sort of same build as me, completely the opposite build to me in fact, I love watching N'Golo Kante play. Just his work rate and his desire to win the ball back for his team, I just think is top notch. So yeah, in Kante, and then centre half, I'm gonna say somebody like John Terry, because he wasn't exactly rapid, which is the same as me. I'm not very fast, but I like to think that I can read the game quite well, which is a similar sort of trait to what John Terry had. So yeah, I'll say John Terry for the centre half. Next question comes from Jack_Badham25, who asks, are you going to do a special video for 1,000 subscribers? Yes, and you know what? I'm going to leave that one up to you guys. I'm going to do a question on my Instagram story asking this very question, and I'm going to ask for suggestions from you guys, and then maybe I'll do one of those for my 1,000 subscriber special video. Next question comes from Archbadham_13, who asks, who do you think will win the Premier League? For me, it's got to be Liverpool. I just think their character and desire this year is a lot better than Manchester City's. I think since they've lost Vincent Kompany, they've lost that bit of leadership at the back, and now they've got a 10-point lead or 11-point lead, I think it is. I think there's no going back now. I think Liverpool will win the league. Next question comes from Luca Aliba, who says, are you currently playing for a professional team, and do you think you are good enough? So at the moment, I'm playing for the academy of Hereford FC, who do have some professional players, but also have some part-time players as well, sort of like on non-contract sort of things. At the moment, I don't think I'm at that level, but in the future I hope to be, and I'll do everything I can to improve to get to that level. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Tough question from Nuru Maximus, who asks, what will be your dream 11, including yourself? Oof, right, let's go. I'm going to put David De Gea in goal. Right back, I'm going to put in Dani Alves. Centre halves, I'm going to have Virgil van Dijk and Toby Raison. Combo and half, that is, I'm telling you. Left back, I'm going to have Roberto Carlos. So I'm going to have a 3-man midfield. I'm going to have Gerrard, Vieira and Zidane. And then up front, I'm going to have Messi, Ronaldo, so CR7. And then I'm going to have the other Ronaldo, so R9. So that is my dream 11. So the next question comes from Arian_21_, who asks, is it better play a lot of pickup games or training in terms of getting better at football? So I think the question he's asking is it better to get involved in games, or is it better to do like individual training? So for me, I think it's got to be a balance. So I think game experience can't be replaced with just training. So for me, I'd say it's probably a 75%, 25% balance between playing 75% worth of games if you have the opportunity to, and then 25% which is just individual training, because that game experience you just can't get anywhere else. So yeah, you'll learn a lot from that. So I think That's probably the right balance. Sportster_Steve asks, who is your favourite footballer? So I'm wondering whether this is all time or at the moment. I'm going to say at the moment, for me, it's watching Virgil van Dijk. I just think the way he's playing at the moment, he's just unstoppable. And playing as a centre-half for myself, just watching him is just really good to learn from as well. So yeah, I'll go with Virgil van Dijk. Sportster_Steve asks, which team would you ultimately like to play for? There's only one answer to this one. Gotta be done. So the next question comes from Lanky_Raghu, who asks, which position do you play? So I'm actually a midfielder, so a centre mid or a centre half. I've been playing central midfield on the Saturday for my local men's team, and then I play centre half for my academy team in the midweek games. So yeah, centre mid or centre half. Next question from George_Hatman, who asks, what motivates you the most to succeed? Football in general. Just the amount of passion I have for it is pretty motivating in itself, but that just desire to win, just hate losing. Honestly, just hate losing. So yeah, I'll have to probably say those two factors. So just the passion for football and just not wanting to lose. Next question comes from _R_Pathak11, who asks, what is the most important technical ability for football and how do you improve it? For me, I think it's got to be first touch. I think if you have a good first touch, which you make yourself a few yards, I think it just allows you to do so much more. Like, say you had a poor first touch, then it doesn't allow you to play the pass you want, or allow you to take the shot you want. Whereas if you've got a good first touch, then it just opens up so many more opportunities to do different things during the game. So yeah, I'm going to say first touch. And also, pop a little plug in if you want to improve it as well. So go and check that out if you want to improve your first touch. George_Hatman asks, would you rather win the Champions League or the World Cup? It's got to be the World Cup for me, I think. Can you imagine? Seriously? Come on. Next question is from MJ14._, who asks, how do you mentally prepare yourself for matches and training sessions, and are they different? That's a good question, that is. For me, for a training session, I try and think of it as, what can I actually get out of this? So before the session, I'm thinking, what do I actually want to learn and gain from this session? So maybe it might be just practicing being switched on in the games, or practicing taking the first touch and then playing, or whatever your sort of goal is. Sort of coincides with that. Like if you're setting a goal to improve your passing or whatever, it's maybe getting your head in the right space before your training session to think, got to make sure my passing's right today, that sort of thing. But for a match, I'm sort of in the middle between, I don't like getting really hyped up because then I think that I don't make the right decisions. And then on the other side of it, if I'm really relaxed, then I can be sort of like not switched on enough to react fast enough. So I'm sort of trying to get myself in the middle almost. So don't get too hyped up, but at the same time you don't want to be really relaxed. Jack_M.19, who asks, do you think you will make it all the way to high-end pro football? Yeah, so good question, Jack. I think for me, depends what you mean by high-end, but if you were saying sort of professional, that would be my dream and my goal, to play professional. However, I always think that if you work hard enough to become a professional, then eventually you'll 100% have the ability to play as a sort of high-level semi-professional, if not. So it's sort of like the quote, if it's something like, if you aim for the moon and just fall short, then you end up amongst the stars, that sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully I can make it to the professional level if I work hard enough, but it all depends whether I work hard enough, and I think if you do everything you can, then you can't have any regrets. Next question from JordanW.01, who asks, who's better, Messi or Ronaldo? For me, it's just got to be Ronaldo, just a complete player. Next question comes from Dory10N, who asks, I'm 16, I just started playing football and I love it. Should I give up? And love your videos. So firstly, thank you, Dory, for your kind words. And I think if the fact that you love it, you should just enjoy it, and just, if you love it, you should love training and playing, and just make the most of it and spend every second just enjoying it, and you never know where you might end up. So yeah, keep playing, definitely don't give up. Next question comes from T._Narwald_07, who asks, how to control nervousness? For me, I used to get really nervous before games, and it all stemmed from the fact I felt as though I wasn't prepared for my game. So for the game, I didn't know how my touch would be, I didn't know what my passing was going to be like, and the way I've controlled that and fixed that sort of nervousness is just doing more training. Now that I'm doing more individual training and more extra training and working harder, I just feel more prepared for matches, and because I feel more prepared, I feel like it's more within my control, and therefore I don't get as nervous. So even if I don't have the best of games, I don't really fret about it, because I know I've done everything I can to get to that match. So you know what I mean, it's like I'm in the best condition possible for the match. I've had a poor game. At the end of the day, I couldn't have done any more, so there's no point worrying about it. So that sort of helps fix my nervousness, because if I go into the game mentally prepared for the fact that I've done everything I can, there's no point worrying about it. Whatever happens, happens. So yeah, maybe for you it might help as well, but that's what worked for me. Next question comes from Charlie_Corton, who asks, is Charlie Corton the best left back you've ever played with? Let me have a think about it. Next question comes from Lucien Herdecas, who asks, will you be able to leave the club that you love to go to a club that is much better? So for me, the only sort of situation I can compare this to is, for example, hypothetically, if I was playing for Ipswich and I got an offer from a Premier League club, that sort of thing. So I think it would be probably the hardest decision that you could actually make. But I think if you were leaving to go to a club that had the right manager, sort of the right players and the right sort of way of playing as a team, I think it's an offer you can't turn down. And to improve yourself at a higher level is ultimately what you're playing for. So yeah, but I always definitely think I would go back at the end of my career and play the last few games there. So yeah, that would be my answer to that one. Next question from Tom_Williams_, who asks, what are your future aspirations? So for me, my future aspirations are, fingers crossed, getting to the professional level. So what does that actually include, and what do I actually have to do to get there? So working hard every day, hopefully playing semi-professionally in years to come, sort of sooner rather than later. Hopefully by the time I leave university, playing a good semi-professional level, and then I can kick on and hopefully play professionally. So yeah, that's my future aspiration. Next question comes from Tom_Allen_, who asks, how do you balance school and football? For me, this is what I struggle with in the last sort of month or so, which, if you want to learn more about it, just go and watch my last video. So yeah, I kind of just burnt out and crashed, and sort of ended up doing no schoolwork and no extra individual training. So yeah, don't do that. But what I've learned from it is how to manage it properly. So now I sort of set myself goals of doing a certain amount of schoolwork, and then any extra time I have left, I spend doing extra individual training or gym or that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm balancing it more now. So for me, I think it's all about planning and goal setting, which is the main keys to balancing your time. So yeah, good question. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, I'd really appreciate if you like the video, and also if you want to see more of these sort of videos on this channel. I also make match analysis videos and try and do game day vlogs as well. So if you want to see more content from me, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.